good afternoon. Thank you all for coming. Let's start. I'm going to talk about Drupal and Carto and how we can integrate them together. So I introduce myself. I'm Pablo López. I work for BlueSpark, and here are some links about me. And you might remember me from other talks in past Drupalcamps about Drupal and Maps, Drupal 6, Drupal 7, but always is mostly the same problem. Drupal is a very powerful tool to enter data and to store geographical data, but it's poor rendering that data in maps. So it's good to render a small map, but if you have thousands of points or polygons to render, it's very hard. The performance it's very low. So there are different ways. In Drupal 6 we had the geo module, in Drupal 7 we had the Carto distribution, but it was very hard to set up. So the idea of this talk came from a meetup from the Idealista News people. They had very nice things with Carto in their Drupal site, but after that meetup I had the idea that, well, there were some loose ends because all the data is external. So I thought that, well, if we could have all that data in Drupal, because Drupal is very good at storing that data, and we could use all the power of Carto to render that data, it would be a hit. It will crash all the things. So my resolution for Drupal Dev Days in Seville was to try to create a module or investigate how we could do that. So let's introduce very briefly. Carto is probably not the best description, but well, Carto is basically a PostGIS database in the cloud. So you can create your database table in your Carto profile, and then you have a lot of tools on top of that. So you can create maps, you can create data analysis based on that, and also has multiple APIs to connect your data with Carto. So we want to take advantage of those APIs to try to connect our Drupal with Carto. So the workflow we are trying to show here is just we have Drupal 8, we have all our data in Drupal 8, we have nodes, we have user, we have whatever, and what we want is to push that data to Carto, to store them in Carto, and then to create the maps, the analysis, or whatever, and then bring back all that data to Drupal as a module, as a map, whatever. So we have two modules here. We have the Carto sync module that push the data from Drupal to Carto, and the media embed entity Carto module that use all the advantages of the Drupal 8 media entity APIs to re-embed and to show all that maps or in Carto. So, well, I'm going to do some demo with videos. The idea is I imported in Drupal 8,000 nodes with all the cities from Spain, and I want to show them back in Drupal after integrating within Carto. So the idea to create a new Carto dataset with the Carto sync module is just to use a view. So we have here the cities from Spain, and we are going to try to create a view. This view is just a regular view. The only difference is that we have to use this Carto sync display type, and then we need to use this Carto settings dataset name. That is the name that we will create our database in Carto. The other thing we need to configure is these settings, where we need at least one integer field that will be the primary key of our Carto database. That will be a Drupal integer and a Drupal geofield field where we are going to store our geographical data. And that's all. Once we have here, in those text fields, we enter the names of the columns in the Carto database tables. And just we need to save the view and go to the Carto sync dashboard page. From this page, we are going to push the data to Carto. Just with that link, it will open a new form where we are pushing the data to Carto. It takes a while because it's not a fast process. So let's go to the next video where we are creating with all the data we already have exported. If you remember, we created the Spain towns view, so we have that table in the database with all the data we had in Drupal, and let's create the map. The only thing we need is to click there, and the first thing, we just set up pop-ups in every point. As you can see, we have a lot of points. There are 8,000 points. So let's see, we can include the name, the height over the sea, the state on the population of every city, and that's all. Automatically, when you click in the map, you will have all that data available for you with some links that we'll see later that we can integrate them within Drupal. Also provides us widgets, so let's filter the results by the state. So as you can see there, we can have a lot of filters to filter by the state, Castilla y León, Andalusia, and so on. And automatically, the map is filtered. This is very powerful. If we try to do that with Drupal, it would be impossible. So once we create the map and we are OK with our map, the only thing we need to do is to share that map, and we will get a URL. From using that URL, we can just directly embed that map into Drupal, and that's all. So that's here what I'm doing. So using the media entity Carto module, we just need to enter the map name we can do and the map link provided by Carto, and that's all. We already have that map. It's different. This is another map I created. It's the population density in Spain. So from the same data set, you can create as much maps as you want, and you can create them and store them in Drupal as different maps. And also, you can embed those maps in the body of your nodes using the entity embed module or the media entity browser. So you just have to enter the title of the map, and the map is automatically embedded in the node, in the body, or any other field where we are using a CK editor. So I'm adding the map and entering some more text there. So let's see how it's created, saved. Okay. And here we can see the node, and we are there. And finally, the other is a different map. What I saw before is we can integrate it within Drupal. So the map is there. Besides of the filter, we have an histogram based on the height over the sea of every city. So if we filter by the lower ones, we'll see that only the cities on the coast are rendered in the map. So it's very powerful. And when we click in the tooltip, we can have links. And if we click in Catalonia, we are redirected to the taxonomy page. So all maps are completely integrated within Drupal. So you can do almost everything you want with maps in a very powerful and easy way. As you can see, I spent just 1 minute creating this map in the Carto builder. So you can do whatever you need if you spend some more time. Even if you have a pay account, it's amazing. So future work, well, this is a screenshot of the Trello board I created in Seville to keep track of all the things I wanted to do. It's just to give support for sync tables to automatically synchronize the data when you change anything in Drupal to push that data automatically into Carto, but it requires a pay account in Carto, allow to update in a different way the data, WYSIWYG support, date field support, and of course, test for the modules, because, well, I finished them yesterday, so I had no time yet to create some tests. And, well, here are some resources, Carto, the Carto documentation about how to import, the page where I got the spreadsheet with all the cities in Spain, and some Drupal modules I used, GeoField, Carto Sync, Media Entity Carto, and finally the slides of the talk in Idealista News Meetup where everything started. And that's all. Thank you for coming.
Hello. It's really nice, all the features, but you said that you can configure everything in views?
Yeah, you create, at the end, views is like a query database that returns rows. So I created a specific views data display and a views style. So at the end, when you click in that sync data link I saw in the dashboard, it executes the view, it takes all the view data, and under the hood, it creates a CSV file that is pushed to Carto.
Okay. And the filters, how do you know? You say that you have a range filter?
Yeah, everything is in Carto.
Everything is in Carto?
Yeah,
okay.
it's out of the box.
Everything integrated with the...
Yeah, all the things that you take in the map is in Carto. The only thing we are doing with Drupal is to create the view, to get the data, and that data is pushed to Carto. And then in Carto, you have your database table with all the data you have pushed from Drupal, and then you can create maps, you can do map analysis, whatever.
Nice, huh?
And that, as you can see, just takes a minute to create that map. If you spend half an hour, you can do whatever.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Any other question?
So thanks for the presentation. It was amazing.
Thank you.
One question about that view. So yeah, it's clear that the view, well, the data set is in Carto, but you have to create it manually. So it's not created directly from views where you...
Yes, when you click in the sync data link, it automatically pushes all the data and creates the database in Carto.
Oh, yeah, okay. So it pushes the data, but if the database is not created yet in Carto, it creates the data
it creates
set for
it.
you.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So that's why, at the end, you do everything in views. Well, do we have some time? If well, this is the demo site I have. The thing is that you have the view, and here in the view you have these settings where you set the, well, for the primary key and the geom one, the names are fixed, are Carto DBID and the geom, but for the other columns, you are configuring the name that you want to have that column in Carto. And when you push that CSV file, it automatically creates the new table with all the columns and automatically detects the data type. And if it's an integer, it takes integer and so on. So that's why I have some challenges now with date fields, because it requires a bit more pre-process work in the Drupal side to push them to Carto.
Okay, yeah, I thought they were created before on Carto.
No, if you have nothing in Carto, and automatically it creates, sorry, I haven't explained it well.
No, that's...
but it automatically creates the complete data set in Carto.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.